In 1987, a small southern town known for its tranquility was dubbed the Forgotten City. But everything changed with the first murder in December of that year. The body of young nurse Marion, a beloved figure, was found brutally murdered in her room. The house was locked from the inside, with no signs of forced entry. This baffled the police and investigators, but it was only the beginning of a series of crimes that shook the city. In the following months, more bodies were discovered, all killed in a similar, mysterious manner. Each victim showed signs of horrific torture, yet no physical evidence could be traced. The killer was meticulous, leaving behind a puzzle that confounded even the sharpest minds. Detective David Collins dedicated all of his time and effort to solving this enigma. Known for his sharp intellect and ability to connect the dots, David had never faced a killer as cunning and calculated as this one. He started by analyzing each crime individually, searching for any pattern or clue that could lead him to the perpetrator. David noticed that all the victims received mysterious messages a few days before their murders. These messages contained obscure words and sometimes indecipherable symbols. Collecting all the messages, David began trying to decode them. He discovered that the messages contained symbols pointing to specific locations in the city, as if the killer was playing a game with the police, challenging their ability to catch him before he struck again. Over time, David began to see a pattern in the messages and locations. The clues led him to an abandoned house on the outskirts of the city, a decrepit and dilapidated structure. Upon entering the house, David found a dark room with walls covered in photos, messages, and notes. This room was the killer's operations center, the place where he meticulously planned each crime. While examining the room, David felt something strange. He found a hidden door leading to a basement under the house. Descending into the basement, he was met with a horrifying sight. The basement was filled with torture devices and photos of the victims. It was at that moment David realized the killer had been living among them all along. In the center of the basement, David found a notebook detailing every crime. The notes were written in a shaky hand, as if the killer was plagued by internal turmoil. There was a final note indicating the killer's next target, Detective David Collins. Feeling the danger closing in, David quickly decided to return to the police station to inform his colleagues. But before he could leave the basement, he heard approaching footsteps. It was then that he realized he was not alone in the house. The killer emerged from the shadows, his face concealed behind a bizarre mask. David tried to fend him off, but the killer was prepared. A violent struggle ensued in the basement, with both using whatever tools were at hand. With intelligence and bravery, David finally managed to disarm the killer and inflict a serious wound. As the killer fell to the ground, David removed the mask, only to discover the shock of his life. The killer was James, his old friend and former colleague on the police force. James, known for his intelligence and ruthlessness, had been lurking in the shadows all along, committing his crimes while David worked to solve them. Before his death, James confessed that he had always been envious of David and wanted to prove to the world that he was smarter than everyone. The story of the Forgotten City ended with a great shock to its residents, who realized that true safety comes from facing evil, no matter how close it may be. Thank you for watching this gripping tale on Snap Tales. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling mysteries and tales. Stay tuned for the next story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.